morning. Well, it's morning here. On location today in Volunteer Park. Wanted to get out of the house a little bit. So here we go. The plane touches down at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. They should combine things like we have with the Seattle-Tacoma Airport. You know, something like Delorth. And hit the terminal aggressively, walking to baggage claim at 11:30 p.m. The airport is empty, barren, giving me that clever feeling that happens when I think I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be, like a closed shopping mall. After retrieving my pack, I find a map to locate the terminal where I will fly to Panama City tomorrow afternoon. The airport is broken up into 3 parts, but where I should go isn't exactly clear. After 5 minutes of staring, this doesn't bode well, I sort of have an idea of what is necessary. Also appearing confused is a girl in a blue Villanova sweater who is mingling with her bags between the various groups of military personnel. The soldiers' uniforms match not only the dust-colored walls of our terminal, but the heinous carpeting as well. With thoughts of assistance, I deduct that I'm barely to use of myself, so what good could I be to her? Leaving Villanova to her own answers, I exit through the sliding doors into a warm, January Texas night. A nice surprise. Waiting for a shuttle to the International Flights Terminal, I am alone. The concrete maze of bridges, roads, and parking structures glow with the orange light being blanketed by street lights. Everyone who I left in baggage claim is still there and apparently not keen on leaving anytime soon. My iPod dies, leaving me waiting in silence. After 20 minutes, a shuttle approaches, flashing Terminal D, my desired destination. Hopping aboard, I join the driver and one other passenger, an elderly white woman who doesn't break stride when chatting to the driver about her issues. She's confused about where her hotel is, from South Carolina, and heavy on the accent. She's been traveling for 2 days, making her way back from Australia. Afraid she won't wake up with the little amount of sleep allotted her before tomorrow morning's flight, she's flustered with her lack of options. I doubt she'd join me for some nap time in the international airport. At first, I find her constant babble annoying, but then begin to sympathize a bit more. She just wants to be home, she's been out of the country, who am I to ridicule her? Now, I start to feel shame for my pessimistic thoughts and sympathize with the driver, who I'm sure has the opportunity to deal with such conversations on a nightly basis. After 5 minutes of questions and answer, she gets off at the red line for the shortened night of sleep that awaits her, leaving just us 2 souls on the transport. Assuming the driver probably enjoys the silence of a shift, I keep my conversation to a minimum, asking only to be dropped at the international terminal. This type of comment might initiate a question like, "Where are you going?" But he confirms my previous thoughts by nodding his head a bit and offering nothing of the spoken word. Shortly after, we're around the final curve with the lights of the international terminal seen easily through its high panes of glass stacked 4 stories high. It's new and modern, and what airports should look like. I give thanks and clumsily unload. The best way to carry my pack seems to be with the smaller on my chest while keeping the larger dorsal, putting the majority of weight on my shoulders. However, this gives me the feeling that I should have a baby popping out of my smaller pack, reminiscent of all the new fathers I see walking downtown Seattle. In a way, the pack is kind of my baby. I care very deeply for everything that it holds. My cell phone, passport, and wallet are now housed within its zippers. Items that if lost would cause a major kink, make that knot in my travels. Choosing a pane of glass, it slides open upon my approach, and I walk into the half-lit terminal. Darkened by the lack of opening ticket counters, the vast emptiness acts as a spacious cocoon. Televisions and computers and escalators are all shut down for me and my eyes, and also that guy 100 yards away already sleeping on a bench. It's 12:30 a.m. and I'm hungry. Walking the length of the terminal, I pass the sleeping gentleman, a sneaky janitor hiding in the corner, closed Hudson newsstands, and up the only operating escalator, taking me to the lobby of the attached Hyatt. Entering an Asian-themed restaurant, there are a few gentlemen at the bar but no bartender. I analyze the menu and decide on egg rolls. Luckily, the TV is on, keeping my attention centered on sports and not how long it takes before the bartender returns. "What are you having?" he asks. "Egg rolls, please." The bartender looks down at the granite top and quickly shakes his head before raising his eyes back to mine. "You've missed food by 30 minutes. Anything to drink?" Without the prospect of edible calories, a potential drink in turn suffers because of my disappointment. My negative response is followed quickly by my exit of both the restaurant and hotel. Once back on the ground floor, I locate the grouping of benches that still has the sleeping gentleman, and to hopefully not alarm, I settle 4 or 5 rows away. In no way do I want to agitate my roommate. The previously shy janitor is doing enough of that already, now buffing the smooth airport floor. We are men sleeping in an airport terminal. We are now a team. I will help defend your property from savages as you will mine. What few lights are on reflect with life on the now buffed terminal floor, like phosphorescence in a dark sea. I quietly place my large bag under the bench and use my smaller bag as a pillow. Writing against my knees, I dictate Megan's letter on Dallas-Fort Worth Airport stationery with one of the fine point Sharpie pens that she gave me yesterday. Trying to convey my thoughts on the potential of us upon my return, one that is to be decided by me, I undercut my argument instantly. Once she graduates from the University of Washington, who knows what could happen. I ask her to wait, or at least remember the last 5 months. There were only good times. I'd like to sign it with love, but considering the word had never been brought between us, that would be superfluous. It's a goodbye letter more than anything. And why? Because I left her. It's that simple. Once finished, I stuff it in an envelope and place it in my smaller pack for retrieval tomorrow. My head back down, I fight to sleep, eventually settling into a light state, falling into the same breathing rhythms as my counterpart 4 benches down. I'm awakened by the hustle and bustle of the airport at the surprising hour of 4 in the morning. Ticketing lines have been opened, so I collect my things and head the length of the terminal to Continental, dragging my large pack behind me on the slick floors. Observing the early morning crowd, I have myself a bit more together than in Seattle. Check-in is smooth, and I'm once again free of my larger bag. I begin my hunt for a new, hopefully more comfortable bench within the confines of the Continental Terminal. Amongst the unopened shops and oversized chairs, other flyers have already set up their camps, burrowing under blankets while lying on cots. Cots! They couldn't possibly have brought those themselves. My new mission is simple. I find a cot and get some real sleep. I stalk the length of the terminal twice, each pass risking the sudden awakening of a sleeping soul as I creep ever closer to attempt gathering information in regards to the origination of their stretched sleeping apparatus. By personal rule, I never go closer than 10 feet, and after being stymied for the 5th time, my glance catches a dark corner of the terminal where the glint of something has caught my attention. There's no rush. I saunter closer until the glimmer becomes a full line of light, stretching down the steel leg of a, yes, it is a cot. I give myself a small, private fist pump. The mother load is mine. During my passes, I scoped a quiet little corner with the closest departure desk 30 yards away, assuring the quietest possible sleep. As if trying to secure a spot in line, I amble with my new bed to the mute location. In my corner, I'm once again alone with the smell of air conditioning filling my nostrils, and I settle into a pleasant coma. Awakening doesn't occur until 10:30, and happens without an alarm or a loud voice on the intercom. All signs point to my snoring as the reason for the stir. The airport has changed. Half-dim lights have turned full. Walkways are congested with foot traffic of hurried and hungry travelers. Food, magazine, and duty-free stores are open and busy. Special Texas-only shops boast of their merchandise of which can only be described as sentimentally unnecessary. I feel disgustingly greasy, deciding it's time for an impromptu shower. Grabbing my small pack, I make a line for the bathroom, conscious of the cot I'm leaving and hope that it will be there upon my return. In the bathroom, I'm not the only one with my kit on the counter as other men are doing the same mid-morning cleanse of brushing teeth, washing the face, and picking one's hair until most of it is in a desired position. We care, but only until a meager level of respectability has been reached. Refreshed, the cot welcomes me back and assures me it will be with me until the afternoon flight. From its vantage point, I watch the constant flow of people throughout the terminal and view the action on the tarmac. My Adidas warm-ups are still feeling great, but my t-shirt could probably use a change. A reapplication of deodorant goes only so far. Watching the rhythm of the planes and the luggage carts, I keep expecting one to run into one another, causing an action-like movie explosion of metallic parts, baggage, and airplane food. But alas, it's just another ho-hum day of routine. Lying prone, I make an effort at my book, Paul Theroux's The Old Patagonian Express, a travel memoir about his train adventure from Boston to the southern tip of Argentina. About halfway through, only now am I starting to find a rhythm and grasp the story. I found dating significantly cuts into reading hours. 5 chapters turn, the airport's voice of God changes from man to woman, announcing the boarding of my flight. Getting my ducks in a row, I slide my plane ticket into my passport. The line for boarding isn't long, and mostly made up of Americans trying to make use of the last part of their vacation time. Smiles exchanged, my passport and ticket pass the test, and I enter the gray chasm of the jet bridge. While walking in the slow parade that is a boarding plane, I can't help but think what a difference a day makes in regards to emotions. I'm still sad, but better. My seat is exactly where it should be, and next to me filling the aisle and middle seats are 2 gals in their early 20s. Somehow conversation gets started during the process of takeoff, and I come to find they're both grad students hailing from San Francisco. They look the part. Both had been to Costa Rica before and liked it, figuring Panama could be as good, if not better. Have you ever been to Panama? Asked the gal next to me. Yeah, once about 4 years ago, to visit my brother. He was in the Peace Corps then, but now he has a tree plantation business out in the Darien, the furthest region east in Panama near Colombia. From the aisle, tree plantations. I know, it sounds really sketchy, but I swear he's not running drugs or anything. He and his Peace Corps buddies started the company up as a kind of grad school project, but then it started to work and pay for itself. So now I'm going down to meet him and help out for a bit in the fields. This answer seems to satisfy them, and our attention is diverted from one another with the arrival of CBS's pathetic lineup of sitcoms being played on all the monitors. I struggle to think if I have ever liked Charlie Sheen in anything. Hot Shots wasn't bad, I guess. Classically American, we can't resist the draw of television, and our row turns into zombies. My eyes grow heavy and the darkening sky out my window has bled full purple. As I pull the shade down, my eyelids follow, and I fall asleep until the tarmac of the Tucumán airport in Panama City. And picking at one's hair until most of it is in a